Hello guys, it's Mayannar Empire again, and you guys are welcome to my channel. Yeah, it's a weekly educational content video. So we're here to understand CRT, understand how we trade daily. So as you can see on the chart, it's a classic setup, CRT setup. Some people call it candle range theory, CRT. I've made a video about it in this channel. I've talked about CRT, what it stands for, and how you can trade them. Talked about the basics about CRT. So before we go deep into CRT, let's see why people fail CRT. Why 97% of people fail CRT. So we have to know the failures and the wins, so you know how you're gonna trade it. Okay. So I know you've heard stories. As soon as the price dips below a range low and closes back inside, it's time to buy, or something. Same reverse case for the sell too. So you follow the rules, you see the dip, and you see the close back in, and you hit buy right there. But then the very next candle tanks, and you're instantly stopped out. It's an unbelievable, frustrating feeling though, and it's why it can seem like almost everyone who tries to trade this way gets burned. Here's the secret. Now, the week you're taught to spot, that's not a strategy. It's the bait. The single biggest mistake is jumping to the second the price comes back and you think that is your confirmation. You enter. That's not your confirmation. It's just the beginning of the story of trading. So in this video, we're just going to talk about the 3 steps for confirmation process that separates a losing approach from a professional one. And it all comes down to what you do after that first close. Okay. Now we always talk about we always enter when after our manipulation candle. This is our manipulation candle. So this is our distribution candle, and this is the range. We're trading the highs and the low. So one thing you should know is that if you always want to enter on the manipulation candle, you stop most times. You get me? So on this video, let's talk about the 3 ways. Now, the first thing you should know is why the obvious entry is a trap. Like I said, when you see this candle here, immediately is forming, you think you can just enter, you enter, and the price just tanks. Or immediately the manipulation candle closes, you feel you can just jump in immediately and buy. The price might first of all produce this week. First of all, comes down, tap into a POI before moving. So you can just buy off immediately and maybe set your SL somewhere around here, hoping to buy. You have to look for a clear POI where the market has to react, and that's why we mostly use the model 1 entry. You understand? That is why we mostly use them, and this is exactly where things go wrong. Most traders just hear that and think that the job is done immediately. The price just manipulation can just close. They just want to enter immediately. No, 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 no. The price will just cascade immediately and stop you out. You get me? So it's just patience. You have to wait for that manipulation candle to just close. Price just push down, it absorbs liquidity and everything. You just wiped out entirely. Now the second thing is what we call a 3-step confirmation, and this is where most traders don't think. Most times when entering this trade, they just want to get in quickly, maybe a tight stop loss or just a very quick entry to your right market. They're so anxious to enter. Now, I always wait for my bearing on the higher time frame. So I always like to look off my daily time frame to see what buyers we are on the market. That is one of them, one of the 3 steps confirmation. Your confirmation, get your bearings from the higher time frame. Jot this down. Get your bearings from the higher time frame. If your bearings are not coming from the higher time frame, you'll be getting it wrong. You'll be getting it so wrong. If we are on the bullish trend, if you're on bullish trend, you should be looking for bullish CRTs. This is an example of bullish CR2. If I reverse this trade, it's also a bearish CR2. Let's try to reverse it so you see what I mean. Sorry, I'm trying to. There's a way to reverse this trade. Okay, let's leave it. So that's it. You have to look at. I look at my entries, my bias from the monthly or the daily. I mostly use the daily. The monthly is just to see if we're in a kind of phase for that month. If we are, there's no CRT formation for the month, then I continue with my daily time frame. Daily time frame has to give you that bias. You have to be sure you are bullish or bearish. Okay. Another thing is the second confirmation is the confirmation close back inside. Now we have to wait for this manipulation candle to close. It is a must. If manipulation candle closes and it has already tapped into your model 1 entry and has moved, is either you ignore the trade or you still market that model 1 entry, or if you see maybe a POI that is closed there, you just mark it out and wait for the price to retrace back. Put your SL below this and wait. That is the only thing you can do. That is the only thing you can do. And also, as it's closing, make sure that your CRT is forming on a key level. I emphasize on that. On a key level, it has to form on a key level. It is a must. So now on the step three of our we have to make sure that we're entering from a lower time frame. Yeah, I told you on the section 2 that we have a three-step confirmation process. Now we have to wait for the lower time frame to give us that model 1. It has to give us that model 1 after the close of the manipulation candle for us to enter. So we don't just enter right away. We wait for that model 1, and price has to retrace to the model 1 for us to buy. It makes our reward from the trade very good and very accurate. Sometimes we get a 1:3, 1:6, 1:7, 1:4, and so on and so forth. Sometimes 1:12. Depends on how big the range is, and it plays out most times. Now, I want you to know something. I emphasize on this. Your key level is very important. It is as important as anything. Now, I always use what we call a checklist entry. So I will show you an example of what happened this previous week, so you see how I traded the CRT, and I'll show you my checklist for entry. So first of all, let's go to my list of pairs I trade. So we had a trade on BTC. In fact, this past week has been very blessed. This was just Friday's trade. But if we have to look out for what happened throughout the week, we should be looking out for GBPUSD. Let's see what happened on GBPUSD on the daily time frame. Now, I think now you understand clearly what I mean when I say you get your confirmations from the daily time frame. This is a very clean CRT, a bullish CRT. Okay, we are a monthly time frame. We're kind of bullish, if you get me. We are bullish on the monthly time frame. You see, this is the last low of the market. This is the last high. We have not created any low or any high yet. So currently we're still bullish. No matter what the market is doing, we're bullish. Okay, so on a daily time frame, it is simple. We created this high, or let's say this high, this low, this high. The market broke this high, so we should be looking out for bullish CRT. So all this movement you're seeing is just a retracement. Okay, so when price got to this, when price printed this retracement here, this manipulation candle here, it was a clear indication that we're about to buy. So my key level is this fair value gap. I always talk about the key level. This is my key level. It is this fair value gap. Immediately the market taps into the key level, and produced this manipulation candle, I know it was time for me to buy, so I just bought, and that's what happened. Now, if you go down to 1 hour, you see how clean the trade was. You see how sweet it was for the. Now, this is how it tapped in. This is my model 1 entry. This is the model 1. I've talked about how model 1 candles look like. I'll still do a clear example and talk about my model 1 entry, okay, in this video. Now, this is it. It tapped into this place and bought straight up. So forget about this setup you're seeing. I entered late because I saw it late while I was waiting for my EURUSD to come in. I saw it late. Now, price tapped into this. Now let's see how many arrow this trade was. This trade was accurately 1:7 arrow. Let's say 1:8 arrow. A very clean trade, and we enjoyed it for the week, and it was beautiful. Now I told you guys I have a checklist for entry, and I will show you guys my checklist for entry. I keep saying my checklist for entry because it is very important that you have a checklist for entry. You can't just enter the market off vibes or just no plan, nothing. No, you have to document however you enter a trade so you don't make mistakes. This is my checklist. Now, first of all, I look for my daily bias on the day time frame, either bullish or bearish. I know where I am in the market, and just like this candle, this trade now, we have this CRT forming here, that formed here. So we were bearish on this market. All this was just retracement. So immediately I saw this tap. This is my key level. Is this other block here? Is another block. Okay, tap into it. Close of this manipulation candle. So the key level. So an OB was my key level. The third one was manipulation candle completed. Manipulation candle was completed. Then 1 hour, 1 hour model 1 entry. So I know this trade probably did not get to my model 1 because most of the model 1 form at the extreme here. So, but if he had gotten to this place, that would have been a perfect trade. You understand? So, but at least it's just a simple checklist. Now target the opposite side of the CRT, the here. That's all. Just a simple checklist, just 5 steps. There's no need for trading too much. Okay. So that's just it. That's just it. If you're finding what I'm doing here educative, or you're enjoying it and you're liking what I'm doing here, please kindly like and subscribe and share also, so I can try to create more content like this on a daily basis or on a weekly basis for us to know more in depth about CRT. Now, another thing you guys should know is that CRT is not something you can trade anywhere on the chart. You can't just go on the chart and anywhere you see it, you just place the trade. It won't work so well for you because it will jeopardize your idea of trading. Because sometimes CRT fail. It doesn't just form anywhere and goes 100% accurate. It fails at times. I had a loss on, I think that's GBPJPY or US oil, one of them. No, I think it was US oil. I had a loss on my trade, on my analysis, but the market decided to fail me, and it was kind of funny anyway, because the trade was something that I was expecting for it to play out so I could recover from. I think I took a loss on a kind of careless loss I took in BTC, and I was trying to use this trade to recover, and this trade also took me out. So I closed the week just like that. So that's just it. So this is CRT, but it didn't play out. It doesn't mean that I wasn't correct. This is my key level. This is a key level. This is my fair value gap key level. The market printed a very clear manipulation candle. I waited, it closed, I marked out my model 1, I entered, but still it failed. It doesn't mean I was wrong. Now I have another new CRT on the same key level and all that. So I know my target will still be below here. I'll be entering this trade. I'll still break down, I'll do analysis. and I'll watch out for my analysis for the coming week. Now I'm seeing something on US oil. I'll be training it on US oil, so watch out for it. Okay, let's break it all together. The reason why so many traders fail with this style of trading is that they're acting on an incomplete signal. They mistake the bait, the weak and the peak close back in inside the range for the final setup. The edge here doesn't come from a magic signal. It comes from building discipline, confirmation based process around it. So one thing, always start with a higher time frame context. Try to with the dominant flow, not against it. Okay. And two, always wait for a definite close back inside the range. If the close happens outside the range, just know that your setup is invalid and is dead. And three, always drop to your 1 hour time frame to look out for your model 1 entry. And also number 4, try to always make sure that your CRT forms on a key level. It is very, very vital. So I guess this framework helps shift you from being a liquidity that gets hunted to a trader who wants to be hunted to be over. It forces patience. Yeah, it forces patience, helps manage our emotions, and can dramatically improve the quality of the setups you decide to take. Stop trading just off vibes and focus on your understanding of CRT. Okay. All right, guys. If you want to see another example of how to apply disciplined entries, check out for my next video. I'll be talking more on my next video should be more on key levels. I think it is a very vital thing. My next video should be on key levels. So I'll put it down and let's discuss about it. Tell me in the comment section what video you think I should do next about CRT. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you, and I will see you in my next video. I'll also be dropping a weekly analysis on the trades I'll be taking. All right, guys. Peace and love.